Hi everybody, this is Julissa. Thank you so much for coming to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much to everybody who's watching and listening right now in the podcast. Today is Wednesday, February the 4th, 2026. I'm here to do a follow-up video regarding a case that I believe I came here last summer, 2025, and I spoke to you guys about this man who got arrested, listen to this, for providing children at a camp, a summer camp, giving them candy, lace candy, so that they can, I guess you can say, fall asleep so he can do evil acts on the children, right? Without giving you too much in detail about that. But it was just so crazy to learn about something like this, right? When people send their kids to camp, they entrust these people to take care of them, to do good by them. And you would assume that everybody who works at a camp goes through this background check and things like this, and they are being monitored too. They have supervisors, they have other staff that are watching what they do. But this man, I guess you can say, he slipped through the cracks and he was able to do that to these children. But now there is an update about this, so that's what I'm going to talk to you guys about. Of course, before I continue, I don't know how much in detail this article is, so I'm going to give you a trigger warning about that. Also, want to thank everybody who has been following JulissaDesigns podcast on Spotify. You can follow the podcast there. Every time I make a new episode, you will get a notification. So that helps me as a creator. Thank you so much for everybody who has been following me there. And also want to thank everybody who is listening using Apple Podcasts. You can do the same there. You can follow the podcast there. You can leave a comment. And if you want to know more about me and what I do, you can always go to the main website, which is JulissaDesigns.com. And of course, everybody who is watching this video right now and listening in the podcast using YouTube, thank you guys so much for subscribing and watching the videos and listening in the YouTube podcast. Really it makes me feel good because I've been doing this for a while now, and to see that people are listening and they're leaving comments really to see the channel grow really makes me happy to see that. It's been a while that I've been doing this, but I wanted to say thank you so much, everybody. So crazy world that we're living in, guys. But it's also so great to see that things that people in the past perhaps they were able to get away with, now God is basically exposing everything, and I really love that, right? It's almost like there's a shakeup happening, right? You think you're gonna hide things from people, do evil acts, and you're gonna live your life and nobody's ever gonna know, right? And God is bringing everything up to the table. At some point, things that you perhaps were able to get away with doing, you're gonna mess up, right? And it's gonna expose you to the point that it's gonna be viral. I guess you can say everybody's gonna know what you have been doing behind closed doors. And I think this is what happened to the guy, right? And his name is Jon Ruben, right? He's said to be sentenced for that case that I was telling you about that happened last year. So they just discovered this sick guy, right? They just discovered, I'm trying to see how old is he. He's 76 years old. You would think somebody by that age. I can just picture him saying, I want to work in the camp because I love the kids. People are crazy. Obviously, not everybody, but I'm talking about this guy. 76 years old, a grandpa basically. And this is what he was doing. But he's about to be sentenced for all of that. But they just discovered that this man was also drugging his own wife, right? So it says here that he drugged his wife so that she wouldn't find out about the same thing, basically. So let me read you guys this article before I get too complicated here. So a man who admitted to lacing candy in order to sexually assault children at his summer camp has also admitted to drugging his own wife to hide the crimes, right? So this is an example. It's evil, everything that he said. I'm trying to diminish nothing like that. I mean, it's crazy what he did. But this is one lie leads to another lie, and now you are so deep into your evil acts that you have to drug basically. It's so insane. You have to drug basically the people around you so that they don't notice anything about anything crazy. And I always tell you, right? Your family knows, like especially your spouse. If you live long enough with your spouse, they know your behavior. They know what triggers you. They know what you like to see, right? They know how, cheerful you get perhaps when you watch something, and they can tell, right, your emotions, how they instantly change, excuse me. Perhaps maybe when you talk to a certain person or certain type of people, they can tell and they can see that behavior. I mean, unless you live in La La Land, you don't observe anything, but if you're keen, you can tell if there is a change in reaction in somebody, right? So he was like doing all of that. I mean, it's his own summer camp, right? It's insane, right? So do not create any suspicions from his wife of everything that he's been doing behind closed doors. He's like, okay, I'm gonna drug her too, right? And that was just discovered, right? So Jon Ruben, 76, is set to be sentenced on Friday, February the 6th, so in a couple days, after pleading guilty to 18 offenses, including assault to a boy under 13, assault to, it's getting into details. I don't want to do too much details, but basically all the kids were under 13. And not only he was doing all of that, he was also doing taking photograph. Okay, so the crimes came to light in July 2025, when a number of children fell ill while staying at his summer camp in Statham Lodge in England, which he ran as a charity. He was running this camp as a charity for underprivileged youth, aged children between ages 8 and 11 years old, and one adult were taken to the hospital at that time, right? So this is what I'm telling you. This guy was probably doing this forever. And to cater to his evil acts, this man created a whole youth, because we want to help charity. We want to give back to the community, right? He was just basically doing all of that so that he can satisfy his evil thing, right? So I mean, he's the owner. Like he probably thought, who's gonna investigate me? I'm the owner here. I'm the one running the show. Who's gonna come and investigate me? I just tell people what they want to hear, right? Nobody's gonna suspect anything. And then we're living in the age of exposure. Thanks be to God for that. Everybody fell ill suddenly, right? And when you have a summer camp and you have 8 people falling ill, including one adult, it's gonna grow. It's gonna create such a suspicion that they're like, okay, something's weird's happening over there. So that's how everything came to light. All his evil acts were basically exposed, and he was taken into custody immediately. Prosecutors said that Ruben had insisted on playing a sweet game with the campers where the adult encouraged the children to eat candies, which were later determined to be laced with a sedative. Okay, police also found evidence that Ruben had assaulted 2 boys under 13. Like I said, I'm not going to go into details here. And he also pleaded guilty to most offenses in November 2025, though the following month he pleaded not guilty to an assault charge, including 2 boys. Not only this is so premeditated, not only he's going to create a whole youth camp, right? Basically, drop off your kids, and just parents go away, basically. Drop off your kids for the summer, we'll take care of them, go away. And it's for underprivileged kids, probably a lot of kids that don't have, their mom and dad. And he's gonna create all of that. He's gonna spend time. Look at the mentality, right? Spend time creating this lace candy so that he can, what kid doesn't like candy, right? It's all premeditated. It's so sick in his mind. 77. I can't believe his age. Like, I gotta go back and make sure. I'm 76 years old. And this is his legacy. That's insane, you guys. That's crazy, right? So, he pleaded guilty to most of the offenses in November 2025, but now he's saying he didn't do something to 2 other boys, right? And this week, Ruben pleaded guilty to an additional offense of administering a poisonous substance with intent this crime involving an adult. The Ruben admitted to drugging his own wife, Susan, to keep her asleep while he was doing the evil acts to the children. This guy is crazy. Like, he's gonna be sentenced on Friday. I'm gonna research and see what came out of that. It's insane. You will think somebody at 76 years old will be getting themselves ready to, to meet the creator, I guess you can say, right? To leave, the retirement age, to give back to the community, and look what he was doing, right? That's crazy. And it says here that he was also abusing, administrating the drugging his wife, basically, to keep her asleep while he was doing that for many years. They say, the prosecutor said that he's been doing that for a long time. I mean, the guy is 76 years old. This is not just a one-time offense. For somebody to go to the extent to create a whole organization of summer camp, to create candy, lace the candy, create it enough so that, when a kid eats it, doesn't spit it out immediately because it tastes funny or something. To create a game with the other people who help him at that camp, so that they can give they call it the sweet game, so that they can give the children more candy, and then to drug the wife so that she doesn't suspect anything about him. This man was wearing the biggest mask ever, smiling with one thing and then having this evil desire inside of him is insane. It's just pure evil right there, right? And then Ruben tearfully managed to say, "I'm so sorry," as he pleaded guilty to the offense against his wife on Wednesday, yesterday, February the 4th. Those with information on Ruben are encouraged to contact the police through. They created a whole website for that. And I'm going to see if I can put it here on the video, or you can just go. It is www.liecs.police.uk. Okay. So you can just, learn about his case there. But wow, I think somebody with that age, okay, and the reason that I say that, it's very important to say the age, because the guy is not 20, right? You have to trace back maybe what? He's 76 now, so trace back all the way, maybe when he was all the way to like when he was 20 years old. Search every person that he met, every probably places that he worked at, right? What did he do like during his summer days, right? Did he volunteer for a children's program, anything like that? Because when it comes to this type of abuse, a lot of the times victims, as we know it, they can take a long time for them to realize, oh my goodness, that happened to me when I was that young. It could take them to become an adult to realize what somebody was doing to them was completely wrong, right? But they don't realize it when it happens a lot of the times, and then the memories come back, right? And they're like, when they're more mature, they're adults now, they kind of like go back and remember, oh yeah, I remember that young guy that used to volunteer every time. And then, then we have the cases that people come, and that's why you can, when you see a victim speaking and giving their testimony what happened to them, people are like, oh my goodness, they waited 40 years to say something about it. It could take that long. It could take so long for people to realize what was happening to them back then was not normal, was not right. That's why you can never say, if somebody even has the courage to come out and say, this happened to me or something like this, that's it right there, right? That's strong enough as it is. So you can never go by the time. So we'll see what sentence he's gonna get. Let me know, guys, what you think about this. Thank you so much, everybody who is watching this video on YouTube, and everybody who's listening to the podcast. Have a good day. God bless.